Hi, yeah, happy February and welcome to another monthly vlog. We're gonna talk about art, we're gonna talk about writing, and if you're here for one or the other, feel free to use the chapters in the video to skip around. But to start with, we're gonna talk about art because I want to share this month's challenge with you. If you watched my last video, you'll know that this year I'm challenging myself to do learning challenges every month, specifically geared towards practicing certain parts of art and getting better at it. So last month I focused on figure drawing, and this month I want to do something more related to drawing objects from life. I spent a lot of time drawing things from photographs, and drawing physical three-dimensional objects is a very different skill. The photograph sort of does a lot of the work for you in a way. I'm gonna set myself a half-an-hour time limit per day and get through as many objects on my shelf as I can. All of these are fairly small, so I should be able to do them in half an hour. And hopefully I can get some really good practice in this month. And there we have it. I'm actually impressed I managed to do this in half an hour. Since it's day one, I was gonna allow myself to do over the time limit today, but I didn't actually need to. I'm gonna get into some writing next, but before I do that, I noticed last month I did a terrible job at explaining what I'm doing when it comes to writing. So let me try that again and we can do it a little bit better. Would you consider my novel fantasy or sci-fi?
I think it's more fantasy than sci-fi.
I am currently technically working on draft 3 of a fantasy novel, except I'm calling my previous drafts draft -1 and draft 0 because of how different they are. So this is the first version of the current story. A lot of this is completely new and I have an outline. So I'm working on part 5 at the minute. I've been working on part 5 since late December and it's probably the hardest thing I've ever written. All of my 4 point of view characters are on different parts of the same battle that's going on. So I'm probably gonna be working on part 5 for the rest of the month, realistically. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna do some writing now and I'm gonna work on this chapter. Hi! So, I want to start a crochet project and I want to talk to you while we do crochet, but I don't think I can concentrate on talking to you while I do the first couple of stitches. So just bear with me for a second and then you'll get some context. I think this is the smallest needle I have, which is technically the wrong size for this project, but we're gonna go for it anyway. It generally takes me like 5 or 6 attempts before I remember how to do a magic ring, and it's been a little while. Wait, that's the wrong way around, isn't it? Oops. That's still the wrong way around. Okay, so I've just read through the pattern. It's not gonna be until round 7 that I'm going straight. So let's go into time-lapse mode, and in round 7 I'll start talking to you. Okay, so now it's basically straight for about 100 stitches. So that should be fine. Let me start you off with a writing update. So I was working on that one chapter throughout the entire weekend and I haven't finished it yet. but it's getting there. I've rewritten it from scratch a couple of times, and this final version I didn't rewrite from scratch. I was editing it a couple of times around and adding things, and I think at this point I'm happy with the actual, like, what happens in it. But I realized that because I edited so many times, it's just a little bit of a mess, and I just gotta rewrite it again, but in a way that's like in a completely different order and makes a bit more sense, I guess. This entire part that I'm working on has been a lot like that, like just rewriting things over and over until something clicks, because it wasn't in my head at all. And there's other chapters where I've had them in my brain for like a really long time, long before I started working on this version of it. And I just sit down and I can write the entire chapter in like an hour, and it's done, and like I love it. But yeah, this entire part, this entire battle, I'm still enjoying it. It's taking a really long time to write a chapter. And part of me is worried because at the minute my average is one chapter every second week. And at that rate, it's gonna take me 3 years to finish this novel, but I know that's not gonna be the case because I know what happens in part 6. Some of part 6 anyway. But I've just realized I haven't told you what I'm doing. So I got this really nice Christmas present from my friends. I know it's February, it was a little bit late, but they knew that I was sad about the fact that I had to stay here for Christmas and I didn't get to go home for Spain. So I'm making them some dinosaurs. This isn't my own pattern. If you wanna make this pattern, I'll leave a link in the description. It's free. But basically, I started a new job last month. So during my first couple of weeks, I was so exhausted. I was literally going to bed at 8 p.m. almost every night. Like, it was a lot. And now I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I do have enough energy to stay awake, but I don't necessarily... Hold on, I should be... Yeah, so at the minute, I can stay awake past 8 p.m., but I don't have the energy to do anything as such. Like, I really want to write during the week, but I tried that and it just... Like, when I then reread what I wrote during the week on the weekend, I end up rewriting it. Like, it's just not good. You can tell I'm tired. So I'm holding off on that, and the goal is to eventually write during the week, but it's just gonna take me a little while longer than I was hoping it would, and that's fine. But I thought this was like a nice sort of in-between project so that I can get used to doing something that's a little more mind-boggling. And not sure if you saw this in the time-lapse, but I made so many mistakes on this. I don't normally make this many mistakes on this when I'm at normal brain levels. So it is like getting me used to that, to working after work. But it's a lot easier than if I was working on a book or drawing for that matter, which is the same sort of thing. At the minute, I'm doing that art challenge thing before work, so I'm getting up a little bit early in the morning and doing that, and that works really well, because if I don't do it before work, I just don't do it. Okay, I've run out of tea, and I've also run out of things I wanted to talk about, so I think I'm gonna take this and go into bed and finish this in bed. And by finish, I mean like maybe finish the head. I'll be working on this throughout the week. Apparently, I now prefer sitting in a really uncomfortable position to vlogging over there because I'd have to set the tripod. We're going for it. Yeah, it is Wednesday evening. I am painfully aware of the fact that I haven't talked to you in about a week and a half, but it's fine, we're just gonna see past that. More excitingly, it's Wednesday evening, but I've just finished a writing session. I might be talking like really prematurely because I am completely exhausted and I might have just completely ruined this chapter that I was editing. I do save different version numbers, so I can backtrack if I reread this on Saturday and realize that I've made a complete mess out of it. But I tried and I wrote for like an entire hour and it was really fun. It wasn't like exhausting and I'm really happy about it. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna not count this chapter as finished until I've reread it. I think I've got 19 versions of it now, so I think this is the chapter that has the most versions so far. But it's basically done and I'm really happy about it. And yeah, in other news, Dave is coming along well. They seem to be multiplying. Oh dear. Why does he look so asymmetrical on the camera? Okay, you know how when you're doing digital art and you use the M key to mirror the canvas so that you see it with a fresh perspective and then you notice all of its mistakes? I think that just happened with like the selfie version of the camera, and he looks cute. He doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay, Dave. I really want to keep writing, but I think at this point it's just not gonna happen anymore. I don't have the energy to start new chapters, so I'm gonna work on Dave instead, and he really needs some spikes and a tummy and just generic dinosaur body parts. Happy Saturday, welcome to another weekend. I am so excited. I get to write the entire day if I want to. I'm so happy. I actually want to share my time tracking statistics with you from this week, because if you take a look at my evenings over here, you can see that between Wednesday and Friday I did actually write for an hour per day, which I'm super happy about. Not necessarily just the fact that I found the discipline to sit down and write, but the fact that I felt like sitting down and writing, and I genuinely enjoyed these sessions. It was really fun. I haven't read back chapter 37 yet. I'm hoping, just because the fact that I enjoyed writing it, that it's gonna be fine. But I'm working on chapter 38 now, and it's been 3 weeks since I started a new chapter, and this is so exciting. I didn't realize how much I missed working on something new. I haven't actually started writing it yet as such. I have 7 pages worth of bullet points, which is probably more pages than the final chapter is going to have. But I get to start writing it today, and you can come in, just be quiet.
Oh, actually, no, that's in frame, isn't it? Sorry. We're gonna put this.
Put it in the corner that isn't in frame. The other thing I wanted to say before getting rudely interrupted is art, because I really want to do some later today. My list of Draw This in Your Style challenges has been slowly increasing, and if you don't know what that is, it's an Instagram challenge in which an artist will design a character and then other people get to draw that same character, ideally slightly different from the original. So I'm gonna do some writing first, and then I am going to do one of those challenges later. Happy Sunday. I think I managed to finish chapter 38 last night. which I'm honestly amazed by, considering chapter 37 took me 3 weekends to write. It is a lot shorter, but still. So the plan for today is to touch up chapter 38 again, because there's still like a couple of tweaks that I want to make, but the chapters there, it's more like beefing up the description a little bit. And then I'm going to go through the entirety of part 5 again and make sure that everything flows okay, because I haven't looked at the first chapter in part 5 in 2 months. So I just want to read through everything and make sure it works together and that everything is fine, and I'm definitely happy with this. And then I'll move on to part 6 when I'm done with that, and then I'm not allowed to go back to part 5. So there's an event happening in March. It's called Worldwide Write-a-thon, and it's when a bunch of author-tubers, I guess, make live streams for 24 hours throughout the day, and everyone writes novels or other things together. It's organized by Jessica Williamson, and I've never done it before. I was very excited to participate this year as something that I just go along on and watch, you know, like a normal person that participates in an event for the first time by observing. I seem to have just accidentally signed up to be a co-host. I'm very excited about this. It looks like a lot of fun, but I've never done a live stream before. And I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know why I did this, and why am I doing this to myself. The write-a-thon is happening on the 13th and 14th of March. This video is going up on the 3rd of March. So a week and a half after this video goes up, I will be live streaming on this person's channel. I don't even know her name. What's her name? Rebecca Alvey. If you fancy watching me make a fool out of myself on camera live, you can take a look at that if you want.
I'd recommend tuning in. I'm watching you make a fool of yourself on camera live right now, and it's fantastic.
What? It is officially the final day in February, which means that I get to update you on how I did this month. I think the last thing I said regarding writing was that I was gonna go through my entire part 5 again and just make sure everything was okay in terms of pacing as a whole before moving on to part 6. I tried to do that. I went through chapter 31 and that was fine, and then chapter 32, I know it's marked in yellow, but it was done. There was only like one conversation where I needed to fill in the gaps. After rereading it, however, I decided that I really didn't like that chapter, so I am now writing it again, and that's what I've been doing all weekend. I'm still working on that, so hopefully in the March vlog I can finish part 5 and finally move on to part 6. I have literally been working on part 5 for the entirety of 2021, so I am very excited to move on. In terms of the art challenge, I repeated the model for day 1, except I couldn't figure out how to get it in the exact same position that I did the first time round, so it's a slightly different perspective, but it's okay. I again have no idea which ones of these I like better. I made another poll on Instagram, and so far we have 2 votes for this one, 2 votes for this one, and 1 vote for they're both the same. But the thing that I'm happy about is if you look at the little notes that I made underneath, This one took 28 minutes and this one took 14 minutes. So even though they look very similar to each other, it now takes me half the time to get it to that point, just because I can see the proportions a lot faster even if I haven't necessarily gotten better at it. I've just gotten faster at it, which is some form of improvement. I'll take that. I'm also really pleased with these little pages. I think they're so cute. They're such a cute addition to my sketchbook, and I'm really happy I did this challenge. It was fun. Next month I am going to do anatomy as my challenge because I like torturing myself. And then of course I have my favorite accomplishment of the month. They're so cute. I love them so much. I hope that you all had a wonderful month, and I will see you next month for another monthly vlog, and also before that for an art vlog or something else. We shall see. Stay safe and see you next time. Bye.